What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. We are in Warframe. We are going to talk Fragor Prime today, if you will. Let me just do this here, just so you can see. So there's our regular Fragor, and I'm going to click on this so we can see the differences here. This is basically my setup discussions of where I'm currently at with it, and then we're going to go into where I'm going to be going once I started adding Forma. And just kind of give you some ideas of a good starting point if you're looking to find out what to do with it, and then potentially where you can go with it. And there's so many ways you could put this together, but let's get basically started on this more or less. And you'll definitely see more video footage of it as we go along because I'm just having fun with it right now. But looking at the comparable of the Fragor to Fragor Prime, we see that there is some big differences here. Impact damage goes up significantly in almost 11 points in impact damage alone is a nice change. Critical multiplier goes up by half, which is enough to make things much more intense, if you will. The critical chance is significant at 35%. I haven't run across anything else that's that high as far as I can remember at this point. With so many weapons I can't always remember. That is that high that automatically puts me into a position of knowing obviously critical chance is part of this setup. And there are definitely mods out there that we can really use to really enhance that critical chance. And then our channeling damage is at 1.8, no biggie. Our attack speed is actually slower than the actual Fragor, but again, this isn't going to be an issue because we're working with critical chance here. Okay, so clicking on that, let's go ahead and take a look at where I've set this up. And actually what I want to do here, just kind of go here so you can see. Now, Crushing Ruin is the stance I'm going with here. It's the one that fits in there, so that gets me 10 points right off the bat. Okay, in this case, this is really interesting. So heavy trauma for impact, and then pressure point for 120% extra melee damage. Okay, you could, if you want to, use collision force instead of heavy trauma, which I can't right here because I just don't have the right points for it. But I'm just saying you could put collision force in here instead of heavy trauma. But we'll talk about these two here in a minute. So then next, inevitably, you want to go with True Steel for critical chance increase. Your critical chance goes from 35% to 56% with this mod alone. Already insane. You know you're going to crit a lot. Obviously, Organ Shatter are going to give you critical damage increase up to a 4.8, which is beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. And we are going to talk about body count blood rush here in a second. But with this, we're going to obviously go with Berserker for this. Not even going to worry about Fury, not going to worry about Prime Fury, which I get in one more day. Berserker is all I'm going to need on this because I'm guaranteed to crit all the time. So Berserker is just going to stack up to its max 75%, and it's just going to stay there. I'm not going to have to worry about keeping speed up. With that said, we're going to use body count to increase our duration on our combo. And then add a blood rush. Now I've got the blood rush here at rank 10. That's all I really need. It gives me 105% critical chance stacking with the multiplier. By adding this 12 seconds, we can continually stack that multiplier. I've gotten up to a 3.0 multiplier pretty easily and very quickly. So that just puts me right into the red crit range almost instantly. Once you start stacking, I mean, you really only have to get to a 1.5 and you're almost constantly red critting, which is, of course, what makes it so good. You just feel good with those red crits. Damage wise, we're not talking anything significantly crazy here, but we've got this beautiful impact damage. So we're just throwing those enemies back, knocking them down. And it is an impact heavy weapon, so with that I said, you know what, I'm going to use Shattering Impact. I know that the Shattering Impact, the melee attack, is going to, it's basically like a corrosive. So we're reducing the enemy armor at max here by a +6. And yes, even at higher levels. The higher levels, doesn't matter the way enemies are created currently. So this actually works out really well, and it scales really well. So now I've got basically an armor reduction. I've got a definite critical going on here. Matter of fact, red crit, best crit you can get. Okay, and while the numbers don't seem crazy, it is insane what you can do with this just set up this way. Now, moving forward, I am going to be adding in Forma. I'm not worried about Blood Rush. I'm sorry, not worried about Fury here. A couple other things to note, just for anyone, no, I'm not using Life Strike. You could change Life Strike and put Life Strike in here instead of Shattering Impact if you want to, because this does not focus on that there, in being that I can actually, as a utility mod, stay alive, if you will. I'm going to be utilizing my Sentinel or my Warframe capabilities, my skill with my Warframe capabilities, whatever frame I'm using, to keep myself going and alive. But you could use this, you could swap out that Shattering Impact, throw in Life Strike. That would be the change up that I would do here. As you move on though, as you get farther up in the scale of things, you're going to be going and looking at Prime Heavy Trauma, which at this point I can just go ahead and put that right on, and we're going to see suddenly a big change in our numbers. And then of course Prime Pressure Point. Yeah, I picked up 4 of them. Which we'll go ahead and we'll put Prime Pressure Point into here. We'll max that up, and that'll give us 165% melee damage versus the 120% melee damage increase. Works wonders on this. So for me, it's a real simple setup just to make things click and work. This is the first weapon that I've actually used Blood Rush and Body Count on. Not the first weapon that I've used Body Count. I've been using it with the Weeping Wounds on another melee weapon, and trying out the stacking, the status chance, which has been beautiful as well. But this is inevitably the easiest one to definitely guarantee. You're going to get your crits all the time. Real simple setup. Going forward, like I said, I'm going to drop some Forma in. I'm going to add Prime Pressure Point, and that's it. I'm happy with it. I don't really have to do too much else. I'm not going to have to worry about my speed. My speed is kicked up by Berserker. It's going to be constantly stacked at a 75% all the time. So, and we're keeping that 30 seconds. It's going to keep going back and kicking in 30 seconds every time I crit and kill something. So it's no biggie. Tower 4's easy. No problem. Pretty much everything at this point is easy, no problem with this weapon. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, I'm done rambling. Comments, questions below. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.